Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning is directed by Christopher McQuarrie, and this is a direct sequel to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and this is the 8th and final of the Mission Impossible film series. Ethan Hunt and the IMF team must race against time to find the entity, the rogue artificial intelligence that can destroy mankind. So this is the film that I'm most anticipating this film for quite some time. I was looking forward to this movie. I was anticipating it. The hype for this movie was massive. I was looking forward to this. Could be one of the best films I've seen this year. And after seeing this film, after thinking about it took me a while to process how I feel. I liked it. I do enjoy it, but it's not great. Before I get into my problems with the film, but I'll start with the positives. I'll just get this out of the way. Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt. He is the man, the myth, the legend himself. I love Tom Cruise. I respect that guy. He's very talented in his stunts he does in this film. I can't help but say Tom Cruise is the guy. Wherever you want to do stunts, I would hire him to be my stunt double. I would hire him as my stunt double. I'll say, can you please do this for me, please? I can't do that. Say, yeah, sure, why not? But it's Tom Cruise. You have no expect from him. He's Tom fucking Cruise. I do love the guy. He's Ethan Hunt. If it wasn't for this series going forward, you can't have Tom Cruise without Mission Impossible, or you can't have Mission Impossible without Tom Cruise. And he's always great. You do see his voice, his performance, says it is the last one. You just do get that feeling this is the last one. He wants to give an emotional payoff. It did well. I actually liked it. I know the rest of the cast with Simon Pegg, Hayley Atwell, the actress who plays Mantress, I can't remember her name, but from all these casts who's been around since the very beginning or just during the series, it's nice to see them coming together, and I do think this is a nice payoff for this franchise. Really consistent throughout, even though Mission Impossible 2 is the weakest in the franchise. Even though I don't hate Mission Impossible 2, but it is definitely the weakest compared to the ones that came after and went before. And of course, the action scenes, if there is, during the second and the third act, we'll get to the negatives of the first act, but we'll get to the negatives soon enough. The action, the stunts, top notch. This is one of the best action films to this day, even better than the most recent ones we've seen in today's society. I'm not saying today's actions are not bad, but there are some that just felt lacking in certain movies, but this one is the real deal. This is, top-notch action. I would rather watch that or any other action films today. Well, there is some great stuff and some great stunts. The musical theme for Mission Impossible, music to my ears. Every time I hear it, it's just, amazing. Of course, we do have some great standout characters and some emotional beats into the film, which it did kind of pay off very well. I did feel like there's some tears in my eyes, and there were a couple of choked up scenes. I kind of go, oh, okay, that was a nice ending to the franchise. It's a nice emotional payoff. However, despite the good things about the Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, it was definitely not as brilliant or great I was hoping it to be. It's definitely a bit of a step down from Dead Reckoning, because I do love Dead Reckoning. What that film set up was great, and I loved it. But here, the first hour of the film, the first hour and a half, the first act, it was long. It did drag the heck out of it, because throughout that first act, it was just basically exposition heavy, like very exposition. Like it's just really heavy stuff, and it just drags on a few things, a lot of explaining, there's a lot of catching up, and there's a lot of throwbacks to the previous Mission Impossible films, which doesn't bother me. I'm all for it, because this is the final one. You want to throw some callbacks or certain aspects from the Mission Impossible film series, and especially one character that appeared in I don't want to spoil, but from the previous Mission Impossible film, or a character you probably saw. If you're a fan of Mission Impossible movies, you know what I'm talking about. If not, then I don't want to spoil, but just check the film out yourself if you want to. But he's in it. I will say this: it was a nice callback. It was a nice, okay, that's cool. I liked it, but it wasn't. I don't mean it's an insult. It's good. It's good to see that character and it's connected. But my problem is it didn't feel earned a little bit. I did feel like it was just there, in which I'm all for that character to appear in the story. I don't mind it, but I did feel like it was just thrown there at the last second. I don't know if that was Christopher McQuarrie's idea or Tom Cruise's or one of the production team wants that in, but I don't know. I don't want to trash. No, Christopher McQuarrie does a good job. I will say this. His directing here is good. He definitely delivers some great spectacle with the cinematography wise, which I'll admit, there's some cool shots here and there, especially with the IMAX format, which I never saw in IMAX, which I wish I could have. That would have been an amazing experience to see on IMAX. That being said, back to what I said, the story did feel dragged. It did carry on for too long. I did feel like maybe they could have trimmed the movie maybe 20 minutes or so. And one character does get, well, don't want to spoil, was killed off, which I'm not going to spoil, but it was an emotional moment. I did feel like, man, this is kind of sad now, which there are some, they didn't kill most of the characters, they killed off one character. Now, I do respect it, it was a nice moment, I do think there's a nice connection to that, but I felt like there's certain stuff and aspects they could have done better with the script. If it wasn't for that first hour, if they could have trimmed it maybe 20 minutes or so, or maybe 30 minutes, I think the film would have done better if it flows better with the story and it would have been more fast-paced. I will say another negative, I wish we could have seen more of Tom Cruise and the group of the team, because that first hour, after they moved team up, after that, they went on their separate ways. Tom Cruise does this thing, while Simon Pegg and Hayley Atwell, another group of IMF team, goes to the other bit, which I wish they could have done is maybe came together, because it's the finale, but I get why they did it, but at the same time, I feel like I wish we could have seen them more together more often throughout the movie, because I did feel like I kind of lax a little bit. I kind of feel like there's interested in other characters. And some of the new supporting characters that gets less to do and didn't get much time to get inside their heads a little bit, which I wish they could have done a little bit more in a certain way. As far as the villain, Gabriel, I do like the actor. He does a good job. And I liked him in Dead Reckoning. Here, I liked him a little less from Dead Reckoning because, well, his performance was good, but he was underused. I wish they could have done more with him, especially how he's, how he wants that entity and all that, which I wish they could have done a little bit more of his motivations to make it more clear. And the dialogue they give them, there's one dialogue that made me go, why did you say that? That's a bit of a dumb idea. That could have been cut out, especially when he says, catch me if you can, which that's a bit silly, which is, I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. It was, I kind of laughed, but at the same time I kind of went, is that necessary to say that? Despite what I say about the whole negatives, it is an entertaining flick. It is a good action scene. If you want to see Tom Cruise doing Tom Cruise, see him doing stunts, especially in that final act with the planes, definitely go and see it. It's worth your time. You'll like this movie. You'll have a good time. It's a really great action film. It's definitely a solid finale to the Mission Impossible film series, but I just wish the first act could have been trimmed to 20 to 30 minutes length out of it, and it would have been flow better. It would have been easier to watch, because I did feel like the pacing did drag, and even though the second and third act was really good, but I did kind of feel like, can we just pick up the pace? That being said, it's definitely a worth your time movie. If you're a fan of Mission Impossible series, you're going to enjoy this film. You're going to love it. You're going to have a good time. But I will say, lower your expectations a little bit. Don't go in too high, because if you go in with high expectations, you're going to be disappointed. I would say, try and turn them down a little bit, and then you might find some enjoyment out of it. It's good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. But I just wish this film could have done better. Then this film would have been consistent throughout the impossible way. I'm going to give Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, a solid B. Guys, comment down below and tell me, what do you think of Mission Impossible Final Reckoning? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you think it's alright? Do you hate it? Whatever the case is, comment down below and tell me, what do you think? Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, see ya.